Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another special edition of AnglersChannel.com video and countdown to blast off. We got Anglers Channel pro staffer Robbie Dye with us here out at Lake Norman. And Robbie, we were talking about it just a little bit ago. This is about as big a week as we've had all year in terms of the tour and the elites on the water the same weekend. We got a bunch of tournaments we're going to talk to you about in just a second. But let's recap. Our pro staffer here finished 7th at the Costa Series down on Santee and had a 32-pound bag on Friday, which led him to believe you may win it on Saturday, but Saturday was a rougher day for you.
Yeah, I finished 9th, by the way. Yeah,
okay.
But yeah, it didn't work out for me. You know, I can get pretty close, and fish didn't cooperate. I did lose a couple fish. You know, did give me a decent bag, but you know, hats off to Brian Thrift. He come in there with a really nice bag the last day. But John, on that lake and as other lakes around the country, these fish are pulling up. They're going on the bed. It's, you know, we hadn't had a lot of rain here in the last, you know, week or so, so the water's going to be clearing up, and there's going to be a lot of sight fishing going on. But, you know, the fish this time of year are so heavy, you know, you can get some really good weights, and we're going to be seeing them in the next couple of weeks.
Well, and on your 32-pound day, what'd you catch them on?
Caught them on a jig. I did catch one fish on a topwater, a horny toad, but most of my fish come on jig, John.
How deep?
Oh, 3-4 feet.
Yeah, very shallow. Well, hey, congratulations. You cashed a good check. But as Robbie said, there was a big difference in the 9th place check and the 1st place check.
Oh, yeah, you know, he's Ranger Cup, and he won, you know, 100 grand.
Yeah, that's a pretty good day at the office. With that being said, we've got a lot of really big tournaments this weekend. Coming up, we have the CBC right here on Lake Norman, $10,000 cash guaranteed for first place. I expect a full field for that tournament. What do you think it's going to take to win out here on Saturday?
You know, John, I'm going to say 16, and which is a little bit low, but when you put that many boats on this lake, we're going to have to share the fish. So I'm going to say 16 pounds will win, and the fish are pulling up here on the bed some. I mean, but I don't know if the big wave has come yet of them, but it's going to be interesting. I'm going to say 16.
All right. I think it'll be a little higher than that, but the number of boats will be a factor for sure. We got the Alabama Bass Trail, which is having their 4th event of the year down on Lake Guntersville. I mean, holy cow, what could go on at Guntersville this weekend?
I tell you, it'll be 30 pounds.
Yeah.
It'll take 30 pounds there. And it's like Santee, full of big fish, and you get around them, you can catch them, and it doesn't take long to do it. So 30 pounds will definitely be the number.
What do you like to throw on Guntersville? You've told me, but remind us.
You know, Alabama rig, rattle trap, you know, they've had a lot more rain, I think, than what we've had up here, so it maybe kept the water temperatures down a little bit more. But with full moon, those fish are going to be coming to the bank, and those bass are going to be full of eggs. And I'm going to say rattle trap, Alabama rig, and a jig be my 3 bait.
All right. Now let's transition to Lake Hartwell, where the FLW Tour is heading this weekend. That's going to be a great tournament.
It is. And you know, I listened to some of their interviews, and guys are saying, you know, low 20s. There's 27-pound bags of fish in there, easy. I mean, you could see a 27-pound bag of bass coming on Lake Hartwell tomorrow, and I'm going to say it's going to take, you know, 4 days. It could be, you know, 90 pounds.
Wow. That's a lot.
I mean, that lake is underestimated, and it's got some big fish in it.
It's a big lake too. Let's not forget that.
I'm gonna say 90.
90?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hold you to that. We got the Bassmaster Elite Series down on the St. Johns River. Our own Vance McCullough will be down there covering that. But gosh, Robbie, every time I go to the St. Johns River, they absolutely slay them down there.
Yeah, it's going to be the same deal. Sight fishing, and they're going to have, you know, 100 of the best fishermen in the world there, and it's going to be a slugfest, you know, all the way around the country this week. You know, put on big line and bring you big rods, because there's going to be some big fish caught.
That's great. I think you're right, man. We got some BFLs. We got a BFL on, I believe, Smith Mountain Lake. We got one on Lake Martin. Got another one on Grand Lake. The one that interests me is Lake Martin in Alabama, because I think that lake's starting to turn on too.
It was full of spotted bass, kind of like Lake Norman. You can go anytime and catch a lot of fish, and it's got a lot of big spotted bass in it. So you know, you start catching 20-pound bags of spotted bass, and that's a heck of a day. And that's what it'll take at Lake Martin.
Well, you know what's fun is right now. This is the time, if you're a bass fisherman, this is the time of year you need to be on the water. And if you're not fishing tournaments, just fishing in general, because you are going to catch fish.
You have to tell your wife and your kids that, you know, you're going fishing this weekend, the yard work and all that stuff is out. Go fishing.
There you go. Hey, buddy, are you fishing the CBC this weekend?
Sure am going to fish CBC. And like I say, 16 pounds is going to be a good bag, John, because it's just, you know, anytime you put 200 boats on the water on this lake, it makes it a little tough. But like I say, top water is going to be a factor. Some bedding fish, and even a jig is going to come into play.
Well, buddy, we're going to be out here covering that ourselves. So best of luck to you there. Folks, wherever you are this weekend, be safe on the water, and we'll see you next week.